Just 12 months on, well, for more on the state of Ukraine now compared with when the Maidan movement began, let's get some thoughts from Marcus Papadopoulos, publisher and editor of Politics First and a Russia and Balkans expert. Hi there, saying what a horrendous difference 12 months has made. So many bright hopes for Euromaidan. Give us your thoughts on the way it's turned out.
Well, 1 year on, what's very clear to the whole world is that Ukraine has joined the infamous club of countries which have become devastated and crippled because of Western interference. Ukraine today, in 2014, is devastated economically and politically. It is divided, and large sections of its population are now being targeted by the authorities in Kiev. So that's the brutal reality of the situation. It's a deplorable state of affairs in Ukraine. But if we take what the objectives were of the people who were protesting on the Maidan, I think we can say they've been achieved. They wanted to see a democratically elected leader overthrown. They've done that. They wanted to see ultra-nationalists and neo-Nazis be elected to the Ukrainian parliament and become ministers in the government. They've achieved that. They wanted to see relations with Russia severely affected. They've done that. And they've achieved their goal of orientating Ukraine firmly towards the United States and the European Union. Now, for any level-headed, rational person, they're obnoxious goals, but those people in Kiev, they have achieved them.
What about the comments we heard just now from the French Foreign Minister saying Ukraine isn't really wanted within the EU? That must be a blow for a lot of people in Ukraine to hear him say that.
I wouldn't pay too much attention to what politicians say publicly. Certainly the French Foreign Minister, he's probably trying to calm the situation down. But, you know, actions speak louder than words. The reality is that the United States and the European Union organised, encouraged and supported those protests in Kiev last year. And why did they do that? Because ever since Ukraine became an independent country, Washington and Brussels has been trying to bring Ukraine into the West's orbit in order to weaken Russia in Europe and thereby in the world. So that's the long-term goal of the European Union. It is for Ukraine to become a member of the Union and eventually to become a member of NATO. But of course, between now and then, politicians in Brussels have got to try and calm the situation down. But as I said just now, actions speak louder than words. They are responsible for this.
On the same breath as maybe some of the European politicians are calming it down, we're also hearing, you know, in the last day or two, a high-profile US official saying Washington needs to start supplying lethal arms to Ukraine.
Well, the parallels between Ukraine and Syria are striking. The war in Syria is down to the West, and it's been made all the worse because of the arms which the West and its allies have been pumping into Syria. Now, in Ukraine, there is a civil war that is still raging in the east of the country. People are still dying on a daily basis. And the Americans want to pour more weapons into that country. That is absolutely outrageous. It's intolerable that a country in the 21st century can be behaving like that. But nonetheless, for the Americans, it's a logical thing to do because they're trying to cement the pro-Western government in Kiev firmly so that Ukraine will one day join the fold of the West.
Marcus, thanks for your thoughts. Marcus Papadopoulos, publisher and editor of Politics First and Russia and Balkans expert. Thank you.